Chapter 23. A Song for the Road. The next day, while they were riding, Eragon asked Brom, "What is the sea like?" "You must have heard it described before," said Bron. "Yes, but what is it really like?" Brom's eyes grew hazy, as if he looked upon some hidden scene. "The sea is emotion incarnate. It loves, hates, and weeps. It defies all attempts to capture it with words and rejects all shackles. No matter what you say about it, there is always that which you can't. Do you remember what I told you about how the elves came over the sea? Yes? Though they live far from the coast, they retain a great fascination and passion for the ocean. The sound of crashing waves, the smell of salt air, it affects them deeply and has inspired many of their loveliest songs. There is one that tells of this love, if you want to hear it." "I would," said Eragon, interested. Brom cleared his throat and said, "I will translate it from the ancient language as best I can. It won't be perfect, but perhaps it will give you an idea of how the original sounds." He pulled Snowfire to a stop and closed his eyes. He was silent for a while, then chanted softly. "O liquid temptress 'neath the azure sky, your gilded expanse calls me, calls me. For I would sail ever on, were it not for the elven maid, who calls me, calls me. She binds my heart with a lily-white tie, never to be broken, saved by the sea, ever to be torn twixt the trees and the waves." The words echoed hauntingly in Eragon's head. There is much more to that song, the Dusilbina Datia. I have only recited one of its verses. It tells the sad tale of two lovers, Akalam and Nuada, who were separated by longing for the sea. The elves find great meaning in the story. "It's beautiful," said Eragon simply. The spine was a faint outline on the horizon when they halted that evening. When they arrived at the spine's foothills, they turned and followed the mountains south. Eragon was glad to be near the mountains again. They placed comforting boundaries on the world. 3 days later they came to a wide road rutted by wagon wheels. "This is the main road between the capital, Urubain, and Tirm," said Brom. "It's widely used and a favourite route for merchants. We have to be more cautious. This isn't the busiest time of year, but a few people are bound to be using the road." Days passed quickly as they continued to trek along the spine, searching for the mountain pass. Eragon could not complain of boredom. When not learning the elven language, he was either learning how to care for Saphira or practicing magic. Eragon also learned how to kill game with magic, which saved them time hunting. He would hold a small rock on his hand and shoot it at his prey. It was impossible to miss. The results of his efforts roasted over the fire each night, and after dinner Brom and Eragon would spar with swords and occasionally fists. The long days and strenuous work stripped Eragon's body of excess fat. His arms became corded and his tanned skin rippled with lean muscles. "Everything about me is turning hard," he thought dryly. When they finally reached the pass, Eragon saw that a river rushed out of it and cut across the road. "This is the Talk," explained Brom. "We'll follow it all the way to the sea." "How can we?" laughed Eragon. "If it flows out of the spine in this direction, it won't end up in the ocean unless it doubles back on itself." Brom twisted the ring on his finger. "Because in the middle of the mountains rests the Wodark Lake. A river flows from each end of it, and both are called the Talk. We see the eastward one now. It runs to the south and winds through the brush until it joins Leona Lake. The other one goes to the sea." After 2 days in the spine, they came upon a rock ledge from which they could see clearly out of the mountains. Eragon noticed how the land flattened in the distance, and he groaned at the leagues they still had to traverse. Brom pointed. "Down there and to the north lies Tirm. It is an old city. Some say it's where the elves first landed in Allegatia. Its citadel has never fallen, nor have its warriors ever been defeated." He spurred Snowfire forward and left the ledge. It took them until noon the next day to descend through the foothills and arrive at the other side of the spine, where the forested land quickly levelled out. Without the mountains to hide behind, Saphira flew close to the ground, using every hollow dip in the land to conceal herself. Beyond the forest, they noticed a change. The countryside was covered with soft turf and heather that their feet sank into. Moss clung to every stone and branch and lined the streams that laced the ground. Pools of mud pocked the road and where horses had trampled the dirt. Before long, both Brom and Eragon were splattered with grime. "Why is everything green?" asked Eragon. "Don't they have winter here?" "Yes, but the season is mild. Mist and fog roll in from the sea and keep everything alive. Some find it to their liking, but to me, it's dreary and depressing." When evening fell, they set up camp in the driest spot they could find. As they ate, Brom commented, "You should continue to ride Caddock until we reach Tiem. It's likely that we'll meet other travellers now that we are out of the spine, and it will be better if you are with me. An old man travelling alone will raise suspicion. With you at my side, no one will ask questions. Besides, I don't want to show up in the city and have someone who saw me on the trail wondering where you suddenly came from." "Will we use our own names?" asked Eragon. Brom thought about it. "We won't be able to deceive Jode. He already knows my name, and I think I trust him with yours. But to everyone else, I will be Neil, and you will be my nephew Evan. If our tongues slip and give us away, it probably won't make a difference, but I don't want our names in anyone's heads. People have an annoying habit of remembering things they shouldn't."